Okay. Yo, this is your boy Vinny,
And this is Hussein.
and this is Third Avenue, aka Tap. Yeah, man. Man, we back with another episode, man. Yo, guys. This is gonna be a bit different episode. For those who don't know, and maybe it might come to a shock to you guys. Me and my bro, we are Muslims, and this is the month of Ramadan. So, in respect of month of Ramadan, we won't be doing, the bar segment. But if we're being quite honest, the respect part, I won't lie, it's not even the major part, man.
It's the energy.
It's the energy, man. That fast can just hold you down, man. Sometimes, man.
So it's the energy.
Yeah, man.
Because
So,
if we wanted to do some, the thing is, I'm actually more. I wouldn't. I would love to see if we freestyled and changed what we were freestyling on, where our minds would go. Because in contrary belief, let's just jump into the topic about fasting, right? A lot of people, yes, maybe it is one of this thing where it's a religious thing. But what I always notice about what makes fasting so different, or fasting, doesn't matter. What makes it so different out of my entire living day to day is because somehow your mind changes. Because for some reason now everything is your mind mentally, it's like, bro, it's weird. It's like a weird thing. Because now think about it. It's not like an intermediate fasting where you're drinking liquids or drink. No, it's super nothing. And now it starts off, and it has this. How would I describe it? The moment where it's like, oh, I'm so hungry. This is painful. I don't think I can do this. There's a moment, then you forget. And your brain is. It's like, for example, I have a lot of racing thoughts just constantly going, but I notice now, because I don't have enough energy to exert,
waste.
I don't even think about it. I'm just thinking about the end of the. I tend to get more of things that I don't crave, or be like, yeah, that must slap. Usually things that you don't eat every day, are yeah, it's like you can taste it in your with your mind, or for some reason you're like, So yeah, I think man. So with respect to the bar, man, we just the energy is not gonna be, and also it's gonna be so lackluster, just trying to record and all that energy.
Yeah, man, that's a lot of work, man.
But hey, one day we're just gonna maybe just tap in, maybe take a slower BPM, 80% BPM. Maybe we can handle it, because just for music theory, the usual, a Travis Scott minimum BPM is 140 BPM.
Bro, I don't think, but in reality, I don't even think,
plug rap and stuff.
I would say, my experience with fasting is a bit different because, for those who know me, for almost 2 years now, I've been eating once a day, and for me, the fast, I'll be honest with you, I don't get hungry as much. That's not a thing that impacts me the most. I think, again, it's the things that I'm used to having is caffeine and nicotine. And then now I'm unable to have that consistently. And I'm so shocked at how...
Do you have it when you eat in the morning before the fast?
Yeah, I try. But it's not enough.
I notice if I miss the time to eat and I don't, even now I have it's like a headache trying to come, right? I don't know what it is. It's even if I'm not fasting. But if I don't eat and I go dry fast, bro, it's like when you get shocked by electricity, your brain goes for a sec. It's like I'm constantly in that limbo, and then I'm snappy. I don't know, my brain. It's like it cripples me when I don't have that caffeine shot. I think it's also the caffeine now also upstake, making it far worse than what it's supposed to do. It's just killing me if I don't have the caffeine, which is an interesting topic, speaking about caffeine, because caffeine is
Remember, caffeine is before. This is the thing that also like I remember like coming across this information whereby like even back in the days, like the 8 hours, at least we work 8 hours nowadays. But back in the days, people used to work ridiculous hours. So, but like they always needed a product that made
it
people
was alcohol.
Yeah, and they opted for wine and alcohol. That was
during lunch, though.
During lunch, imagine
but to
like even I remember even the story about Thomas Edison.
that fake ass nigga.
Where he was an editor.
Sorry,
if I'm not mistaken.
But that nigga's fake.
Thank
you for actually tapping in. We'll build on Thomas Edison. Carry on.
So like even like there was the story I was reading about him was about how like he used to be chilling with these guys, who work with him in the printing place and writing all this shit. And the niggas used to cuss out for lunch. Hey, gents,
sorry guys, we forgot to tell you, by the way, we're reporting live from Mama's crib, so that's all you gotta know. We're reporting live, so we're kind of on a hill, so the phone is relatively
please, bro, you must edit that part out. Like you can't just leave it out and say it's flared.
You said no one's watching. That's
no, like regardless, thing. Like even if someone had to watch it,
build on your Thomas Edison story about him.
So then he said, obviously the boys, because I met back then, he said in gents lunchtime shakaza tamapia. That time Thomas Edison said, "No, guys, I'm cool, I don't drink." Right? But there's also a nice moral to the story. Then later on, Thomas Edison realized that he was getting back comments from his work, like there's mistakes in his work. There seems to be mistakes that he's doing in his work. What's going on? Why do you always have these mistakes? So then he later noticed that the people that he's working with, the same niggas that he said internalists Kazat for peers, are low-key sabotaging him.
Yeah.
Right? So then he then said, okay, you know what? Even though I don't drink, let me at least Kazat. So then everything can stay normal.
Yeah.
You understand?
They still be doing that, like half of the time, trying to get you to rope into these birthday.
Dude, bro. Like the one thing, I always
cap.
Nah. This is.
No,
this goes back to the principle. This goes back to the principle, bro.
Well, mine was a good reason. When this thing first happened was when I started last year at another company, and the problem was this thing works well when your department is small. Now, if your department is large, cool, they'll be like, it's just 50 rand. Now let's look at the stats of how many birthdays fall. A lot of birthdays fall in May. A lot of birthdays fall in.
So what
happens is there's always a month, like if you're in the likelihood of 3 birthdays coming out in a month when you're in like a bigger department at work is very high. So what happens is there's a moment when now you're taking out like 300, 500. And now what the way we used to do the Kazata one was that someone must basically go and hustle for you.
Yeah, collect.
And now you know, bro, like this is live. Someone's gonna be like, hey.
Okay, for the birthday thing, I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't do that. But we do that for like if someone is leaving.
Everyone always does it for
at least if it's a fire and at least because the birthday thing is ridiculous, bro.
But anyway,
as you said, how many people would have a birthday in May? How many 50 rands must I take out in May?
Anyway, going back to Thomas Edison, I heard like with a lot of things, just to build on Thomas Edison, I had a lot of that he used to take credit for a lot of inventors' work, right? So, courtesy of Mama's house, we have Wi-Fi. So the first one being the electricity and the light bulb and stuff. And Nikola Tesla, what did Nikola Tesla do again? He contributed to
the current.
Apparently, Thomas Edison, let me see, taking credit.
No, that is an actual fact. It's not without
No, there was another one he took a fact
the light bulb. The light bulb
is also not his.
And
he's the reason light bulbs are actually, apparently. So, I forgot what the term is called, right? But this term, I will search it. But the term, what it does is, on purpose, we degrade something so that it creates demand. So the light bulb, there is a light bulb on Facebook right now, still waiting to burn out.
Bro,
Which,
can you just hold on for 1 minute?
according to my, well, it might make a mistake, but Thomas Edison took credit for other inventors, including black African inventors.
Them niggas, they been taking credit of those guys for a
But
long
like,
time,
yeah,
bro.
but the first one, you're right, would be the electric light bulb. He took that one. The one going back to Nikola Tesla was that they worked together for a time, but Edison stopped paying Tesla after he improved several Edison motors and generators. Then Tesla patented with others to create a electric light and manufacturing. Then Edison is with the light bulb one, he improved the light bulb. No, don't worry, it's it's still good. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, he improved. Then there's the carbon microphone. So what happens is why we for a very long time before the internet took over, like this guy Edison was ruling. He was the guy to code within in invention. But to his credit, Thomas Edison is what Steve Jobs is to Steve Wozniak. Now, Steve Wozniak is the brains of creating Apple, the technical, the guy, the coder, the programmer, the one who's doing that stuff. And Steve Jobs, yes, understands it, but Steve Jobs knows how to sell it.
But
he's a visionary.
He's a visionary, I was gonna say.
So to his credit, it's the same thing with Thomas Edison. You must always remember that. As much as you want to discredit,
that's what I'm saying. No, he was such a visionary.
And he was a visionary who could sell.
Yes.
Because remember, there are many. I think a lot of people don't understand it. There are many inventions that.
Well, sorry to just drift off because we're talking about inventions. Have you heard the stories about the Wright brothers?
Also, they stole from like Turkish.
No, never stole from anybody, bro.
I think there was that one also. By the way, guys, we need to also be careful with where we're taking media from. And I know there's a lot of these, those sponsors. Ground News, shout out, man, sponsors.
Ground News.
Ground News is basically, for a very long time, we didn't know that media conglomerates are funded by particular rich people, and those particular people would lobby for their political views in order to do. Going back to it for a very long time, as a person who also did history and also in uni, you need to be careful not to get like nerdy. You start realizing the more you go into stuff that where a source comes in. For example, Cold War. The main thing about Cold War was pushing innovation. Who was the first to do something and do it better? So we will never know who created the first computer.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair thing, but obviously we can only go by what we currently have. Like it's like saying the saying of there's obviously a faster man in this world than Usain Bolt.
No, it's not. But this thing is, these are things that usually now, because of the times we're living in, are investigated thoroughly. But obviously because of how the core. Remember even Mythbusters busted that thing. And a lot of, what does this a lot? That perpetuates learning misfacts or whatever you want to call it. Movies.
No, movies have attended
for a very long time.
It's also not movies, bro. Like but certain movies, things,
bro.
Like certain things.
I wouldn't say movies.
I think now, honestly, now that the internet is as big as it is, you can't be saying things like we only use 2% of our brain. Like you can't be saying things like that nowadays. But now I appreciate because of like, bro, sometimes people would just say things that just are not really as informed. And also at the same time, I also feel like we also have the misconception that now that we have the internet and we are so predisposed to information, we think we know so much.
No, we don't.
Like, I remember, especially, if you use TikTok. You know why? Even right now, I was thinking, like, even like any, short media thing, like, I also try my best not to use it back.
But the one, sorry to cut you off.
There's a reference, sorry.
No, the one that I realize and low key is a juggernaut, depending on how you're using it. And it's the reason why you your LLMs and all, your chat GPTs, your DeepSeeks, and all of them can exist is one particular website or app, Reddit. Do you know how many times, even if I don't have a Reddit
Bro, I've
thing,
heard Reddit has some superpowers.
It's the reason why I say that. Do you know how many times when I want to solve something or understand, like, it's like, do you see the way you're asking ChatGPT to do?
Mhm.
Remember, the OpenAI scraped the internet, and apparently that now Reddit makes a lot of money. And it does. It actually asks a lot of questions.
I've heard from Elon Musk it's not necessarily open AI anymore.
Yeah, okay, yes, it's that. Yes, we'll get into that. But I don't want to bore our viewers, and I love topics like this. I'm not gonna lie.
I know niggas give a fuck about no AI.
No, I genuinely like it's something. I love it so much, and I am so happy. Like a younger kid from me now, to think that there's some kids, bro. Sure, we only talk about negatives, right? And the thing is, one thing about technology is it never disappears. It is never wrong.
Yeah, it is
never wrong.
It'll never go back.
And I'm not a hater. I'm one of these people who say, well, what can we do? It's like a car.
But do you understand? Like I was talking to mom this morning, and I was telling her that there's a part of me that can see the resistance of old head, like not necessarily old heads. Like I'll give you an example. You have invested a lot of time in making sure that you can write professionally and do that, right? Right. That's it takes a skill. Like I know, like even at work, like it's a skill that you've invested almost plus 10 years, right? Yeah. And here this guy tells you, nah, bro, I could write like I'm speaking out of my ass, and this thing will make it with the same description and everything.
You know what sucks now?
And that's just the
bigger companies, because the truth is, shout out to people who are genuinely teaching people how to use AI in a professional level. Yeah. Because the misinformation is that it's gonna replace you.
They don't never replace you.
Not yet.
Even Elon Musk has mentioned it himself. There was a part where obviously it's like when with the whole expropriation bill type of thing. It's like you know when something comes out so fast.
The same guy who led every forum, right? You know that, right? Like a misinformation guy.
But
a bit of a walking contradiction.
But I feel like it's the same. No, that's what I'm saying. It's the same.
No. I'm just
even
saying
himself. Elon Musk is just one of that person. He did the same thing with the AI. So at least now he could have at least. He's not going to give us that. He was saying that he thinks that AI is going to be the what, and he realized that it's not going to do.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
He then mentioned that it only 20%. He believes only 20% where we can get, like Terminator situations.
So I'm watching this.
Forth.
Is it Pantheon? It's on Netflix. It's an animation thing you should watch. It's really cool because it plays on this thing called UI, upload intelligence. So it's something actually in the real world where they say they basically transfer you in to this world on the internet when you die. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Right, basically take everything that you are right now as the way you are, but now you go live. So when you die, that thing lives on the internet, but it plays on you live on the internet, but you in actual sense you would be dead. So basically you're kind of an imposter is acting as you from a realistic point of view.
Are you saying from like a soul?
Yeah,
but
from a soul. But obviously in the animation, I mean it's a loose. Come on, man, it's dystopian. They're using more technology like wave patterns, travel. So but shout out, check out the series. But I don't want to dive into this too much, but I think it is an interesting conversation to have, right? But I think AI is here to stay, and I think the misinformation of also thinking you're too smart. To be fair, it's over.
What do you mean? Like when you say thinking too smart, like avoiding
so think about it like
efficiency.
Yes.
To maintain the rap and
avoiding
importance.
the efficiency. I remember telling someone
Because this is,
I was
you know,
telling
when I think when people think about AI, especially they think about back in the days where you would be speaking to, you know, Google.
Yeah.
Like, hey Google, do this. Nah, my nigga, let me
Nah.
tell you something. That nigga cooks, man. That
He
nigga
cooks. The more thorough you are, the more
and the more you use him, the more he cooks.
And
that nigga remembers every single thing.
but also another
bro, you can feed that
pointer.
nigga a whole book.
There's this myth. I don't know if it's a myth, but this conspiracy about the AI. If you speak to it with respect, like a human being,
Yeah, I speak to
because
it
what
with
tends to
respect.
happen with a lot of people. That's why with the GPT, right? It runs on a GPT model, which is GPT 4, GPT 01, GPT something. Now the word chat, I think that's what people don't get. The word chat means
the
chat.
main component of that thing.
That bro, talk like you're texting.
Like right now, if you say Thomas Edison, how many things did Thomas Edison steal? Then we say
forget that you're talking to an internet. Talk to me like you're trying to ask a professor or a lecturer something so complex. And the more you're open and broad with it,
like it's like example, like maybe you don't understand relativity.
Yeah.
You can say, yo man, can you please, like the same way you would ask Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson, like let's think about me as a fifth grader right now. If you had to explain for a fifth grader what relativity is, then we want to Neil deGrasse. If you look at that nigga,
it's the voice.
Sometimes
I think it's
I remember at
the
the time
voice.
it was cooking up a story about some cream, man, some ice cream. He was talking about this guy when he said, I got myself a root beer float. You know, I got myself a root beer float.
Even
And then, for a second, I noticed I asked him, where is the cream? And he told me, it's sunk. And then, you know, when he said that, I just scrolled fast. I said, I know this nigga.
I feel like that logo, that's my dad if he had a PhD, dog.
That is my problem. You see, I don't personally.
But
Can
no,
I be honest?
let
Can I be honest? You just I like that, but can I be honest? I think the general population don't appreciate human beings like that.
No, you see, the problem is. Let me say this.
Man.
I think let's get into the crux, guys. I don't think we should appeal to the general population because the general population doesn't care. I know a lot of people don't care about people like that and people who do stuff like that.
Yeah,
those are the people we get. They remember these smart people who might not look rich to you. You don't know their names. Publishing papers. The reasons these cars that we drive improve every day. These cell phones. These batteries. Sure, you look at the company. Usually, you should even check the company. For example, Amazon has a large research and development. Apple will have a large research and development, pouring billions to. You see that guy who's talking like that? Who sees?
No, this is only Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's not that.
No,
Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson
is because he can go outside, man. He can touch grass.
You know, I've heard, you know, Joe Rogan interviewing the most intelligent individual. Neil deGrasse Tyson just has this thing. That there's some individuals in this world who have personalities like that, bro.
I know. It's just that it's usually what tends to happen. Like for the smartest people tend to be quiet. Introverts. Some of them maybe are on the autism spectrum, right? Things that would actually help them to benefit them to make them even smarter. Now, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's very smart. And he's just like a charismatic person like me. And it's and I get it, bro. It's like you know when you annoy your wife, you're just talking about something so deep. Like you love this thing and you're breaking it down like, babe, I know you don't know, but let me understand. Let me break this down for you.
That's when you realize you need friends, man. You know, that's when sometimes there's moments. I'll explain what I mean by this. See, I'm a huge, boxing fan. Love boxing.
But I remember you tried to do that.
And it's like, you start to think, man, I need to discuss this with somebody, I want them to feel my frustration.
I was so sad when you didn't listen to the Kendrick Lamar. I'm like, bro, who am I gonna talk to about this?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, now you just be like, damn, you heard Kendrick dropped?
No, but you see how bad it gets. For me, it gets so bad to open you like, you know what, babe? I know you don't care, yeah? But honestly, I need to get this out of my chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see this. You see, you're following. Bring it, bro. That's. But I feel like with Neil deGrasse Tyson is just again his whole brand is that. I'm just saying. For me, honestly, there's also the one other thing I always learned. I always complain about this, and I feel like one thing I don't like is people who don't know how to have conversation. You know,
it's just wait.
Even the art of small talk. Even remember, I don't.
Awareness,
remember the other time I also said I don't like small talk a lot, but I was like, you know what, sometimes even the small talk would be fine, you know, but there are some people who just don't know how to have conversations. It's just not in
it's just the self-awareness is, I think, very important to always, you know, sometimes you can even get carried away.
Yeah, you're only human.
But like, if you just look at someone's face and you're like, I think this is the time where
I should start.
I think maybe this person today is not in the mood. Even with the person you talk to every day, sometimes it's just not in the mood. But anyway, man, this has been itching on my head a lot right now. Sorry, guys, this is a very nerdy episode. So, for those who don't know, GTA 5 dropped yesterday.
GTA 5?
Yes, GTA 5 dropped again before GTA 6. No, it dropped again on PC.
Why? Is this a definite...
basically, it's an enhanced version. So if you go into Steam now, I have two different ones because I obviously bought the game a couple of years ago on PC, so I got a free upgrade. So you have the Legacy on PC now, you have the Enhanced, right? And so I was genuinely looking forward to see, and I have this weird, crazy theory that the reason they did this just before GTA 6, I think my biggest theory, I think they want to see how to optimize the game. Sounds very nerdy. Because it runs on a very similar, it runs on the same engine, I think they really want to get... they want to see, especially for PC, how to optimize it maybe in time, because
and
PC,
how it will handle
the other ones. Because remember, the enhanced version was already on. Because
also
on the
but
other.
in there, also one other thing. Let's not forget.
Well, yeah, I think
we all know that GTA is not gonna come out on PC on day one release.
Yeah, no, that's of course, because PC,
bro. Because there's actually, you know what? I was actually low-key considering buying a PC. I'm not gonna buy a PC for those reasons. There's one thing I'm not about
game with a PC. PC is like where now I genuinely want to actually go get myself a console, and I still want to go build a PC game. The PC is like a thing where you're like, I wonder how this game is gonna be maxed out.
If I can boost
it
to be that nigga.
It serves a purpose.
You just be that guy like, yo, bro, check. Look at the water. Look at the water, man.
So the data has shown that
I have ray tracing.
This is how people buy PC games. PC gamers are pirates. That's the first one, right? This is why developers and publishers don't cater for PC gamers. Firstly, data shows these guys pirate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Never buy the game, even with Game Pass. Secondly, cheap. You know when I only buy games on PC?
When there's
Black Friday and promotions.
Yeah.
So now the biggest, for example, I think the biggest platform for playing GTA right now online currently, surprisingly or not, is PlayStation. Still. Regardless whether people bought PCs, it's still gonna still be PlayStation. So the main thing is and I think that so going back to the GTA that dropped again, I was super excited to see like Red Dead graphics, because in my head I'm like, I'm gonna see Red Dead, right? And I can't max out everything on because of my graphic card, bruh. When I tell you, it's like, even if now we go on the internet, in order to notice the difference, you have to look very hard and you have to look at the benchmarks. oh, how much is the frame rate?
And how much is
and then it's like
your screen? Yeah.
And then I'm looking
frame
and I'm
rate.
like, but like, I even thought it was my graphics card. I even want to go search. Yes, reflection, retracing is now added there. I get it. It's fine. But it was free for me. And also, yes, I was genuinely looking forward to kind of seeing if you see now Insane Red Dead Redemption,
I've seen
attention to detail.
and
So
on
it
top of
obviously
that-
in my head, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, enhanced. Obviously, you're gonna go and try to do what you did in Red Dead, which dropped in 2018. So
Yeah.
in my brain, it's like, bro, this thing is gonna be revolutionary. It's like these minimal things that you wouldn't care once you start playing the game. Like, you wouldn't care. Some people even argue the fake reflection is better. You understand? Like the one that they make.
The one, I understand.
But I was like, I won't lie, man. I was, bro, I reloaded that game, bro, on Steam before it even came. And then I started it because I knew once I get home from work, it'll be... my wife doesn't even know this. I was a couple of minutes late to pick her up from work because I wanted to see how it looked online. First, it starts off with the normal, the ones. And then I checked it, then cool, I left it because I needed to go pick up my wife. And then I saw...
Yeah, but also the screen that you're using was ridiculous.
No. Firstly...
Is your screen a 4K?
My screen is no, it's not 4K because I was not maxing it out at 4K. I was using... My screen is 140 hertz. Right?
You mean for your laptop?
For my laptop.
I'm saying your TV can.
No, yeah, my TV. That it's quite hard. I haven't learned to optimize on how to play on the TV. It's not as easy as you.
Doesn't your thing have a mode?
It does have a mode. I just haven't done it, bro. PC. Remember, even when I tried to play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It's not as... That's why people don't really like it. PC. Let me say this. PC is for nerds. It's like for people who are really interested in playing and checking benchmarks and looking at retracing and looking at all these things.
All
attention
these nitty-gritties of
but
just
to
saying,
be honest, people who genuinely game, who's a gaming streamer, genuine gaming streamer that I can mention? I mean, Gamer from Mars. Of course,
from Mars.
Yeah,
I was gonna
not
say
Gamer from Mars. No,
Stone
Gamer
Mountain.
from Mars. Gamer from Mars is another.
Give me the legend.
No, he's not a
Mr.
gamer
Waffle
anymore.
Waffles.
He just makes
Dalek
documentaries.
JD.
What's this? Is it Ordinary Gamer? No, Ordinary Gamer.
Penguin.
Penguin's not. Those people started as gamers. I'm talking about someone who eats with the gaming store.
Yeah, the niggas I mentioned now.
Penguin
Stone Mountain. You remember Stone Mountain?
Penguin, Big Penguin doesn't eat with that thing. They pivot. They talk about current affairs, but anyway,
there's an Australian bloke there. Pelican. I think.
Oh my god, I love Pelican.
Yeah, I think it's Pelican. I didn't mean Penguin,
that
bro.
guy, bro. Firstly,
is
this is how I knew. This is how I love this guy. You know why I knew I loved this guy? This guy was playing GTA San Andreas.
Yeah.
Playing the missions the exact same way. But you know what caught me? The commentary.
Yeah.
I literally... No, I'm not a guy who just watches people.
Yeah.
I'm not a guy... I think I'm not a guy who watches people play games.
Yeah.
But because... First, I just started running to say, I'm like, hi, man, that's not how the mission went. This guy's game... Yeah,
he makes the whole storyline... Partly what the storyline is, but
the jokes,
his jokes are basically I've noticed he has a very good way of doing. The jokes is seems as if it's part of what the story is of the game.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But he's just making it. But
so
he still remains the core principle of the game, man.
So let's go through some tweets, man. I just sent them to you.
Yeah, man. Oh man,
yeah, man. Sorry, guys. I'm not gonna apologize for a game. The ones who get it, guys. This is what.
Honestly, bro, gaming. I know I don't play games as much as I always feel like I do. But like for me to play 1 hour, even sometimes in a week, weekend just makes me feel good.
I
And
think
at the same time, I'm not a huge like
the thing is why I
FIFA
love
game or something.
I love the reason why I love gaming is because it forces me to slow down, and it reminds me of why I see the world as it is, and it also shows me of how awesome human beings can be and dream and just think about it. Gaming, a lot of people don't know this. Gaming is bigger than the movie industry, and why?
And now they're coming to ruin it, lad.
But
they're ruining it, bro.
But I don't want to be this guy, and I love the fact that. And yo, man, whoever's watching this, any female man, black woman from South Africa, if you love gaming, please start streaming.
Yeah, man.
Start doing.
Like I feel like also South Africa is not tapping in yet, especially with the streaming. I think I'm also gonna just hop on.
I'm gonna hop on streaming.
I'm gonna hop on.
We actually might hop on streaming.
Yeah, we should hop on.
Yeah, we should hop on.
And in the streaming, in fact, we keep it in Mzansi, like local. In fact, to shine power when you shop in power.
Wait, hold on.
I always feel like there's a reach for
you
it.
don't watch.
But I feel like the one game that you will definitely hold traction a lot if you stream in South Africa is FIFA. But I'm not a huge fan of FIFA.
Let me be honest, guys.
If you can make any game interesting,
let me say this. It's been, how long has it been since GTA
but you
dropped?
remember
GTA dropped almost 13 years ago. No, wait.
Small market,
No. There's a reason why. Every other Call of Duty first is number one. No one plays FIFA like you think they play FIFA online. It's not really a big EAFC. Firstly, already it's lost that. People still play. People play more 2K, NBA 2K than you think. I don't know about locally Mzansi, but there's one thing that why GTA keeps on being so annoying, because it's genuinely,
it's a good game, man.
No, it's genuinely the best game of all time. I'm not even as controversial as it sounds. I'm even so scared because of that game is so good, especially online. It's so good that GTA 6 might just be mediocre. I am so scared.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. You know that.
I think sometimes
we waited a very long. We waited a way
because you know this.
For them to bro. If Rockstar wants to go, bro, I'm telling you, I think
the budget.
Personally, I believe as gamers.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in high school, man. I was starting high school.
Bro, we started grade 8.
I was starting high school when that game was still in it.
Then you went to uni.
I finished uni. I'm working now. Even with experience,
dog.
Bro, that game can't be disappointing.
It can't.
I think we'll be in denial. No, if I'm being quite honest.
The thing is, the trailers were like, I remember Game Rank said something very interesting that people kept on saying. Firstly, guys, they never said is a female character and a male character.
We speculated.
No.
I think that makes sense.
It does. But firstly, they dropped it.
I hope this game is flavor, man.
They think that's the Haitians. I don't know if they call it. But essentially, yo, dude. That game better be banger. You know why?
Yeah.
So I started doing this.
First of all, it better be banger because I'm gonna buy a whole ass console. Pretty much
because of that game. No, like
I'm not allowed to because
I don't know if I have money.
But I think we should do it. What?
I think you should get an Xbox, then I should get a PS5. Cause does it really?
I'm not gonna. The reason I'm getting a Series S, first of all, it's budget friendly. I'm not gonna get a PS5.
But don't you think the PS5 is gonna drop because of the Pro now, in terms of price?
Not to S. It doesn't make a difference.
But let's read the tweets, bro. Got way too nerdy right now.
But anyways, this tweet stuck out to me. It says, people who drive from Pretoria to Joburg. From Pretoria to Joburg daily for span. The strong shame. I could never. Personally, this tweet if you swap it around, if you drive,
Did you say from Pretoria to Joburg?
Yeah, from Pretoria. That one, I totally agree.
The Joburg,
I drive from Joburg to Pretoria.
Now that's
I'm
fine.
not gonna lie, that's not that bad. But nigga, I see those people
like just going to work, and then also them going back to Pretoria.
Yo, it's always traffic.
Them, it's not the same.
It's not the same. It's like the majority of people from Pretoria.
Yeah.
The majority of employment is in Joburg as compared to in Pretoria. So
because Joburg is the hub, dog. Like,
yeah, bro.
And then what's the next one?
Yeah, bro. No, sorry, man. I could have read a much more, but it says, no kids at my wedding. Gonna Uber the flowers. Go home when she's done. What? Yeah.
Wait, read that again.
Oh, sorry. No kids at my wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna Uber the flower girl home when she's done. Meaning that, I go to, you have a wedding, you need the flower girl. Immediately the flower girl finish throw the flowers. You see your request that you fall.
Guys,
why would you
we're having
kids, man?
We're having
what wedding do you want when there's no kids? I don't understand what wedding.
I think
first of all, you 2000s. I'm assuming this person is a 2000s.
Please don't do that.
Not do that. But you know what's the problem with that statement there? Where I feel like, bro.
Wait.
You know. I can tell you now. This tweet is from someone who is still not even over the age of 21.
Wait, check.
Let me explain.
Zoom in the profile picture.
It's a girl.
Oh, of course.
So wait. You might hear why I say this, because I'm of the age where you realize
it's starting.
You can't tell someone. Then you have no wedding. You're gonna invite me and tell me that I can't bring my children because you don't have children.
I mean, I would not like.
It seemed like a dope idea, but we're not gonna all have
20. Let me say, even 2 years ago when we were like what? Damn, we're 2027. Anyway, even like I think my things are changing about the way. Let me say this: I want to have kids because I'm self-centered. There, I said it. I don't know if my kid's gonna be a bum. Son, you better not be a bum. But I'm self-centered. I would love
say son like you're gonna have a son, bro.
Son,
this is your niggas is just always just because your niggas.
To be fair, I actually would love daughters.
Yeah, same, bro. I think it's gonna teach me a lot, bro. Yeah, let me.
And so I often think about the way we don't know what our kids are gonna do, and I think as a human, as selfish as it sounds, it just feels natural that we're supposed to be making babies. I don't know why. I can't tell you why.
Yeah.
Despite, I'm not gonna give you like some full of. I'm not gonna put it in science. I don't tell you why. I can't.
Look,
but there's something.
It's like
inherently human.
Jordan Peterson said it very well, and obviously it's a bit, Jordan Peterson can be a bit aggressive with his statement because, some people,
he gets too passionate.
Some people, unfortunately, can't have children. But he said, he says that I don't think someone can reach a very high level of maturity if they don't have a child. And he goes on to explain it because it's that thing of, it takes a very big sense of responsibility to not only just care about yourself, but to care for something else besides yourself.
I think it might be even very different from being married,
Yeah.
No disrespect to the wife, but like,
it's a different thing. Because with marriage is, it's also subject to the type of personality the person is.
Because I think, you know what I think we miss? I miss the generic rom-com.
Yeah.
I miss the generic pop song about love.
Yeah.
I miss all of that now.
Bro, for me, because I just, can I be honest, what I miss? And I feel like what I fight myself with every day is there's parts of me that always feels like, am I not ambitious enough? Because my dream, can I be honest, what I always said I always wanted, It's a very simple thing, bro. I just wonder, the normal shit, like the normal thing of I have a wife, kids, take care of kids, raise kids. Simple. I don't like.
The only
It would be
thing,
nice that we can,
the
have
only
a
thing
Porsche.
the only thing I really won't lie to you that makes me want a bit more. Right,
Yeah.
there's just this one key thing, and obviously this is being documented. And when it does happen, I hope I can watch this back and remind myself. The reason I want more is because when I have that more, and I know what it is, and it stops, and I can be there for my kids every step of the way, annoyingly there.
Yeah,
That's all. That's why I really want to work. I don't want to, because
that's what I'm saying.
It's
Like,
not. There has to be a
that's what I'm
threshold.
saying.
There has to be a stop after where, like, okay, yeah, I don't owe anyone.
I don't have to
the-
like
pay the bill.
For me, that's like. But the thing is, we I
We
don't
might
know.
not get there.
I don't know because we get like I know the persons that we get pre exposed to nowadays, and it's obvious now. Everyone is now talking about it more than ever. Where they're like, bro, like I remember I was listening to the Breakfast Club, bro. This broke my heart, bro. This father called,
Mm-hmm.
and nigga was bawling, bro. He was crying. And they were like, hey, what's going on? And he was crying because his child said, I don't want to be here anymore. His child was contemplating suicide, right? And I'm gonna, go to the cause of why nowadays we have a huge surge of people with mental health issues. And it stems back from being children, babies. Right, and you'll realize maybe where I'm cooking now, because when we were back in the days, the children would be raised by the mother and nurtured by the mother and all of that and so forth, and you don't develop these weird. I'm cutting it brief. There's much more I can, there's a much deeper discussion to it, but it's the sense of when the way children were raised, the mother obviously. The way is like the father goes to work sharp, but the mother would take care of the children. She would be bonded with the children, touch the children, have the children majority of the time. Then the child does not grow up to have certain mental health issues that we commonly find today, like anxiety and all of those things. And so it's just saying because of now we live in a society where a mother can be a mother. Yes, but then she doesn't have to have necessarily a relationship or an attachment to that child. And that just inevitably is just going to cause the child to not be...
There's so many, I think...
Like even like daycare. Like forcing a child to go to daycare. Look, the worst part is like I know when I was listening to this woman speak, these are things that no one wants to hear. But like leaving a child at daycare, you must remember you're forcing this child at a very young age to detach from you. That can already just create some small little traumas, then later on perpetuates to become something. So
it's like I guess in conclusion we'll see when we become fathers.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying.
Let me say this, but I pray to God. That's all I want. I genuinely really want to be, because I already feel it right now with work life and balance, and you're like, this is not healthy. This is not natural. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. I don't want to live. Yes, now it's a bit lax, but I don't want to.
I feel like it's not natural where I see my boss is ill. This nigga, he's dying. You know what I'm saying? And that nigga's still forcing.
Well, he got kids, bro.
No, like but the thing's like, bro,
kids.
When there's like every time, like you would call me, like, you're supposed to be sleeping, man.
Why you hitting me up?
Like, don't even bother. Like anyone who tells you anything, like, nigga, I'm dying. I'm dying, bro.
I think it's also just picking, and like I just pray to God.
Yeah.
God blesses us with means, cause like I say. I just like I said, play this back when we have those means, and I say stop.
But you must remember, it means it's not like we.
No. Means wait. There is a moment where the means stop. You own the house that you live in. It's yours.
Yes.
You're not paying the bank. It's yours. You don't have debt. You drive the same car, right? You probably made good investments. You maybe have actual good real estate, like you are renting, people pay you, you're good.
Can I be a bit controversial with this thing
Yeah.
of yours? And maybe you won't like. I say to you that if you can buy a house like in this development,
Yeah, of course.
we came from, you can be in 5 years or 10 years if you boost the way you. Because right now, let me tell you, when me and you're gonna, let's say we're gonna look for a house,
That's a problem.
that's the problem. We're not gonna look for these houses because we're like, oh yeah, what? But in reality, because now I've grown up to think, these suburban things and all that is not as much as what you think. Because at the end of the day, is that if I'm able to buy a house here and build the way that other nigga built it, right? At most, can I be honest, I will spend at least 1.5 mil.
Like big ass.
That's what the amenities inside with, like, marble finishes and whatever. Not just,
And it's just you just gotta buy like two of them.
Two of what?
Like two of the houses.
Yeah, but like
Not
that's
just for yard space, not that much big.
yeah,
But
because at the end of the day, now that I'm getting older, it's like you just want, something, dog.
things need to be.
Now when you, especially we earning more, we earn more now than what our parents earned at our age.
The problem is, like, no, we're not even gonna get into that conversation. That's another conversation because we're on 50 minutes. I'll read one more tweet, man. Let's.
Yeah, but this tweet is gonna go into another story if I read this one.
We'll keep.
I don't know. It says, I love this idea, but action essay. I love this idea by Action Essay of introducing a 15-year minimum sentence for anyone involved in corruption of state funds of above 500,000. Do you mind if I read you
A reply.
No. Just to add on this, they said 500,000. Let me read you the article, the story, father. When I read this thing, I'm like, no, these niggas are vicious. Guys, Zanzi, we stay in a very vicious country, guys. Zanzi is a very vicious country. Where's my notes? Sorry. Yo, man, it's raining, and now this thing is gonna be hitting every single raindrop.
Yeah, just put it near here, man. You must put it.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
So we can at least.
Bro, the thing is that I don't know. My Wi-Fi is behaving strangely. Oh, there you go. So this is an article.
How long are you gonna read that?
No, I'll read it.
How
So,
long?
no, just add. It's not that long, bro. Around 15 years ago, the Free State government planned to transform the historic old Ramkral prison in Bloemfontein into a provincial legislation complex and a museum, investing over 100 million in the project. However, the site now resembles a dilapidated scrapyard. The prison, built in 1883 and 1885, became a national monument in 1990 was later neglected and illegally occupied in 2012 under the premier Ace Magashola. This guy, I don't like Ace Magashola. The government proposed It's right? The government proposed converting the prison into a museum by building a new legislation due to space limitation. A budget of 119.2 million was allocated for the project, but estimated cost stood up to 650 million, which was unaffordable. The project was halted due to the irregularities and the lease agreement, and the office accommodation was signed in 2016. The DA requested an investigation in 2013, which led to a special audit by the Auditors General in 2018. The auditors revealed that there was a 106.7 million was spent with no results, and much of the expenditure was irregular. So if you are saying 500,000, it's 15 years.
It's a two-way street for me. Before we even go to the deeper guys stealing mills, still.
Sometimes.
I don't know. No. I'm saying, remember, you can't. No one has ever. Has he been proven to Has he been proved?
Bloody proof these guys every time, bro. Have you ever just watched the clip of state capture? The whole thing of state capture.
Hey man, that's another topic. But going back, I think the us as a country, we are corrupt as beings. We always know that cash, money speaks. And it's the sadness of the country that even that the corruption from the top is trickled down to the day-to-day citizens.
Ding, 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 ding. That's not corruption. That's a connection. You must define it. That's not corruption. That's connection. That you see, giving these corrupt as ammo to when the government is neglecting their priorities, they're going to come and tell us that, it starts with us.
No, I never said that. I never said that. I never said it starts with us. I never said that. Hey, bro. Houses, mansions. The other people, they dark niggas doing stuff in the private sector, bro.
Bro, that's better, bro.
Anyway,
it's better, man.
Anyway,
it's better, bro. You gotta read one more tweet.
Bro, I'm actually starving.
Yeah, let me read one more
55
tweet.
minutes.
Yeah. I don't know how valid is this, but apparently Donald Trump claims that there is no one who has ever heard of a country called Lesotho.
Damn, man, I am so sorry to my Sutu brothers and sisters.
Have you watched Donald Trump?
I think he probably said
Zelensky. Bro, can we not say something, guys?
By the way, wait.
I feel bad as a South African. I'm gonna say this. As a South African, I don't like the amount of American politics that I know, right? But in my defense, and I'm gonna say this, I just feel like American politics is just more, it's interesting. Besides that, like, I won't lie to you, American politics is interesting. I feel like that's why young kids will get into politics. This is the problem that I feel also in South Africa. It's like, we need to find a way
to balance
that. How do we get, like, that's what makes Donald Trump, for me, why he won the elections, is because he learned how to just speak and make normal niggas, young niggas, to be like, nah, man, I don't like that shit. But now you have a guy who's like, bro, I know you sound like my father who's uncool, dog. You know what, man? I don't care, type of thing.
Because we're gonna be the generation.
Yeah, man.
But anyway, guys.
You know what? One last one. This one is Ramadan. My son's best friend is Muslim. I packed my son lunch for school every day, and every day he comes back with his lunch box untouched, as he does every day during the month of Ramadan, and he is not fasting. He supports his friend. My heart must burst with love. Oh my God.
Mama or Papa, listen.
That is.
Turns out that your son doesn't eat his lunch, and Ibrahim usually eats it during the months that are not Ramadan. Because now Ibrahim is fasting, he cannot touch the food. So meaning that your son has to bring that lunch back home. Have you ever thought about that?
Nigga, why? So you're saying
That friend is a Muslim bully.
He's not a Muslim bully. Remember when you
can't even eat his lunch. Why would you eat the nigga's lunch?
You remember in primary, the lunch guy like, I don't know, man, put grapes, So Ibrahim, my boy, he's fasting, and we must respect that he's not eating the boy's lunch. But we all know he's not supporting his son.
Nah, but he is. Guys,
I don't have hope in these kids, man.
No.
These kids are corrupt.
I'm the guy who always hates. That was a sweet thing. But you don't like this. But I remember my best friend.
That's my boy.
They replies there.
Yeah?
There's no replies, man. And there's no way someone has thought about it. But anyway, guys, man, we've come to that end of the podcast. Sad times, truly. There will be long format. We'll try one episode, not during the week when we're recording during a weekend. Just
bro.
Actually, a whole stream for the entire day. Just in and out.
No, like, you know no one's gonna watch that, bro. Hey, bro, it's hard to get streams.
On the note, the thing is, if you notice on the YouTube Shorts, usually put streams. You know when you go there.
Yeah, but we barely even get.
But that's the
First of all, bro. Anyways, guys, this has been Third Avenue, and
peace. Bye.